All right, you guys. I finally did it. I made it to 60 days, and I said I'm gonna make another video when I get to 60 days. Again, as with my first video, I'm gonna be unbiased. I'm not gonna look at what Reddit says and then look for these things. I just wrote down 2.5 pages of things that I noticed. Like, no, this definitely changed. First off, if you want to, you can watch my other video where I did 30 days, because this is mostly going to be 30 to 60 days. Although a lot of it builds up on what happened on 0 to 30. Like, some benefits just get stronger or more, but they started earlier on. First of all, I also want to say why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it for the benefits. I'm sort of doing it because, well, focus on righteousness first, and all these things shall be added on to you. I do it for God. I feel like it's bringing me closer with my walk with God, and I don't know, self-improvement. I want to fulfill my potential. I want to be who God made me to be, and I want to be who I really should be. I'm gonna start off with the negatives. There aren't many, but there are a few. The first thing, which is an actual negative, is I had severe sleeping disturbances. So I used to be the kind of person I would just sleep wherever, whenever, after 2 minutes, no issues at all whatsoever. But now I've actually gotten to a point where I had quite a few nights where I had sleeping disturbances, meaning I would wake up after 2 hours and I couldn't quite sleep, and then I'd sleep 2 hours later, and I'd wake up multiple times a night. I had it for like a week or two where I would just wake up at night and then fall asleep again, and in the morning I'd remember, oh, I woke up again. Why do I keep waking up at night? And it was actually pretty annoying. At some point, I also my sleep quality went down, and I started to suffer energy wise because of it. But it evened out again, so right now I'm sleeping perfectly fine again. And I had a flat line, which was also around the time. Actually, the sleeping disturbances were a bit afterwards, or a bit after the flat line. But I had a flat line from day 25 to day 35, I would say. What is the flat line? Basically, for me, it was a complete loss in sexual drive. It just disappeared. There was nothing, no urge, no. There's a pretty woman, yeah, but I don't know. It's just nothing happened physically that I know. Usually, as a man, some things happen, right? And obviously, during that time, I had no morning wood, and I don't know. I was never the person to. I always had morning woods, but not always. I feel like sometimes at night, or I just wouldn't notice it or whatever. But I'll get to that. Let me start off with what I noticed, because this walk is truly about conquering the lust for me. It is not about attaining some type of benefits or whatever, and to be who God wants me to be, to not be my ego self, but to be my child self in a sense. And so I'm gonna talk about how my whole relationship to lust, my sex drive, and attitude towards women has changed. First off, urges are in waves but high intensity, meaning before I used to just be horny, always, pretty much. Obviously, sometimes you get distracted or whatever, but you just, yeah, you do it all the time. Now I don't feel it as much. I don't feel the unnecessary random urges as much. I still have them and they're less frequent, but when they come, they're pretty intense. And lust is decreased. Porn doesn't really, it doesn't tempt me anymore. It's like something internally has switched. It's like I don't see there to be, like, I imagine a minute of pleasure and then all of my progress is gone, and then I'm gonna sit there in shame. And I know this moment all too well, when I sit there in shame, and it's just not worth it. I don't look at it as something even remotely good or something that even tempts me. It's like it's completely dead and empty to me right now. Even the way in which I view it, it's just there's nothing there. Like, I wouldn't want that to happen, you know. Um I wrote down, and yeah, sometimes, I'm just in the moment and I write some things down, and then it's a bit weird, but activated physical feeling, clenching my butt muscle when I see a sexy young girl. That's what I wrote. But basically, what it is sometimes I'll see a girl and she's like exactly my type. She has the type exact figure that I want, whatever, and then I could physically feel like energy wanting to escape out of my dick, and my butt clenched like automatically. Like, whoa, this fucking activated. Um. Oh yeah, this is interesting. I'm more attracted to physically girls who a lot of people would objectively say they are uglier, but I'm more attracted to them because they were more pure. They had like a sort of radiance to them, they didn't have the perfect proportions or whatever. And they also wouldn't look like the type of girls I would usually go for. But I was just more attracted to them. I wrote radiant shine. It's like they have this innocence, but not because, and I specifically wrote this, they looked like virgins to me. But I'm not attracted to that because I want to take that innocence. I just want to talk and share the energy. It has nothing to do with sexual attraction, more so than it has with like a gender attraction. So I want to talk to them. I want to feel the energy, talk intimately, maybe even hug them, but I don't want to do anything sexual with them. I just don't want to. And I feel like that would energize me if I got to talk to these girls. I feel like it would energize me. It would make me feel good, and almost like energy is like being exchanged or circulated. God, I hate this hair because it goes up here. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So yeah, my change in woman has actually changed. The woman I used to find attractive, I don't find her attractive, because, and I think I wrote this a bit later, because I just spent like 30 minutes sorting everything, so I don't just, talk in between everything. Or, you know what I mean? I don't talk in a chaos, it has some structure. But yeah, the type of woman I would usually go for, she doesn't really do it for me anymore. I don't know, she looks dead to me, she looks vain. The Bible even says somewhere that life only begins once you quote unquote give your life to Jesus or whatever. But translated, that means we're dead right now. Life truly only begins once we choose life and choose the path of life, choose the path of short-term sacrifice and long-term benefits, choose the path of righteousness, choose the path of doing what is right, not what feels good in a moment, continuously over and over, until we have attained enough wisdom to know this is the right way, and then we will find our purpose and follow it. That's how we gain life, and then that's how we gain life eternally. And I feel like I can see it in a lot of people. They are in a state of death, in a state of a short-term compulsive cycle, and their spirit is dead. They're animals, not entirely, of course, and even I have an animal inside of me, which I will get to, but I can just feel it. They look dead to me. It's like, oh, I'm talking to somebody who's dead, and you can feel it in the way they speak, in what they care about, in how they dress. These people will usually eat fast food, care, or will be susceptible to programming such as paying more for branded clothes, paying 4 times as much for shoes so it says a certain thing on them, even though they're actually broke, and like all of these horrible things, which I don't know. People are ugly to me. I can spot the coomers and they look bad. All of them do, to be honest. That's what I wrote. I genuinely walk around and I look at men, and I'll get to that, and I get angry. But people in general, they look bad. Even children. Some children, I look at them and I'm like, you don't look healthy. You don't look vibrant. There's no shine to you. You already have dark eye circles, but you're like 6, and I don't know. I wrote this. Uh, People are ugly to me because it's not about the physical anymore. It's right. I have become more spiritual, more aligned with my true essence. Therefore, I can spot the essence in others or lack of, which is why they seem uglier. Um, Craving sex instead of porn. yes, because we do have urges. I do have a physical body and I do still crave these things. I don't crave porn though. It doesn't do it for me anymore. If so, I would need sex. But I don't want sex because I want to stay a celibate, right? And I want to focus on God. And for me, it's not about just beating the porn addiction. It's more so about really doing God's will. And it's not God's will, in my personal experience or in my personal opinion, for me to just go and have sex with random women just because they let me. I know this, but you do you, man. But if you truly follow God, you're not just on SR for the benefits. You immediately know what I'm saying is true. And it is one of the biggest temptations. And I think more temptations will come in that department where I'm gonna have to be strong. But I read my Bible, so I know that God will not let me be tempted beyond what I can bear. But whatever. Yeah, I don't see masturbation as anything nice or good anymore. I don't want to do it. Absolutely true. Um, Let me just quickly say I downloaded Tinder at one point because I was just feeling the need to actually go out there and do it in person, not through a monitor or screen. Uh, it's just an urge, really, because really I don't want to do it. But I downloaded Tinder and I kid you not, I was like swiping for 5 minutes and I liked two girls, because I wasn't looking with my lustful eyes. I was looking with my real eyes, honestly. Like, you're all full of branded clothes and showing me your tits and ass, and you listen to secular music, and your bio has pride, and you look with pride, and I just kept swiping left, and at 5 minutes I was like, damn, I don't like any of these girls at all. Like, I genuinely don't like it. That they can be hot physically, and if I was in a lower state, overwhelmed by my lust, I would be like, oh yeah, she's hot. But as I looked with my real eyes, I didn't want any of them. I liked like two girls, and these are the type of girls that probably don't really want to be on Tinder, or they're not gonna be there for long. But I uninstalled it after like 10 minutes. I was really surprised. I sat there like, damn, I don't want these girls. I'm not gonna find her here. Fuck off with this app. There's a reason it's a flame, you know? And baddies are hot. Bad, hot flame. Yeah, yeah, you get it. Lower sex drive because of transmutation, yes. Because what is a urge? A manifestation of energy, or creative energy, which God gives man to produce and to create. Because the woman is a receiver, she is the receiver, and the man is the producer. And in order to produce, you have to have like an electrical charge or energy. And as you go on this path, your general sex drive will go down, but you'll have more other drives. For example, I have more of a drive to finally speak to a big audience and help people, or continue writing my book, or making music, or whatever. Next part, this is the part all of you want to know. Female attraction. I had a few experiences which were pretty interesting. Let me just tell two or three stories. I had one story where I was sitting at a bench, just looking out at the lake, and then this lady came to me, and she was like 40 or something, and she asked for some money to buy something because she didn't have her wallet with her or whatever. So I gave her some money, and it wasn't much. And then she came back to me like 3 minutes later with like literally 5 cents, like nothing. And she wanted to give it back to me. I was like, no, just keep it. It's nothing. It's all good. Just keep it. She's like, no, 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 take it. And she even touched me, like, take it. And I was like, all right. She was like, it's gonna bring you luck. And me, the superstitious idiot I am, I was like, oh, all right. Even though she gave me a sort of a bad vibe, actually, I was like, all right, I'll keep it. Um, and then afterwards, she came back, and she was like, do you want a piece of cake? And I was like, no, no, I'm good, thanks. She was like, really, you helped me? Let me help you. I was like, nah, I don't really want to eat cake. I'm sorry, I don't really. I was thinking, I don't want to eat this sugary garbage. Why the fuck would I eat this nonsense garbage? But I was just being nice, like, yeah, I don't want to. God, this fucking hair. Whatever, I gotta stop obsessing over it. I don't want to eat this cake. And then 2 minutes later, she came back again, and she brought this whole ass, like half a kilogram of cake. And she was like, you take this now. I was like, no, I don't want it. I'm good. She was like, no, 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 you take this now. And I was like, no, I'm good. And she was like, and that's like the weird part. And I knew this wouldn't happen if I wasn't an SR. She's like, do you have a girlfriend? I was like, no. She's like, do I have to go on my knees and kiss your feet so you take this cake? And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. It's okay. And she kept arguing with me until eventually she was like, all right, I'm going to give you a piece and you can either feed it to the birds or do whatever you want with it. And I was like, all right, I'll feed it to the birds. Because obviously I don't want to eat this sugar garbage, right? It's of Satan. It's fucking poison for you. Anyway, yeah, it was weird. It was weird. She couldn't let go of me. She kept coming back and like looking at me intensely and giving me the eyes and interesting. I also had an experience that was very early actually in my journey where I had this girl. I was at a gas station and there was a guy and a girl in front of me checking out at the cash register, and she turned around and looked at me and I looked at her, and obviously I didn't have a fear reaction or whatever, and I was sort of attracted to her, and we looked into each other's eyes for about 5 to 6 seconds straight. No pause, just. And then she turned around again, and then she hit her boyfriend in the rib cage, kicked him in his behind the knee, not hard, but just a bit, and signaled him to turn around and to hurry up. And this guy looked back at me in like total shock, like, why the fuck did my girl just almost assault me to stress me out? Because apparently there's somebody behind me who really wants to pay or whatever. It's like, well, what's so, where's the emergency? Why is she in such a rush? Or who do I have to leave space for? And he turned around, and they were both like 5 years older than me actually. And I just looked at him like, bro, don't ask me. I'm just chilling. And he actually started rushing though. He went faster. And then they walked out together, and she was holding his arm, like a traditional housewife would, holding his man's arm as they walked out. And she turned around and looked at me for another like 5 seconds, abnormally long, and smiled at me while holding him and walking outside. And I was like, damn, I don't know. I almost feel bad for the guys because it's like, I don't know, imagine that's your girl. It just shows how weak women actually are, or why they're the weaker vessel. Because once you retain the energy, they cannot help it. They can't help it. They're receivers, and if they receive something they don't receive from the other 96% of the population, or even 99% of the population, because who actually gets the 60 days? And it's like they can't help it. They will start flirting with you subconsciously even, and the guys will probably notice, but they are almost oblivious to it. They can't help it, and it's like you put your girl with the wrong type of guy in the wrong type of situation, and if she's not a woman of God, she's gonna cheat on you either way. But the same could be said for most men, right? Put your boyfriend in a situation where he's alone with a beautiful young woman who wants to sleep with him. How many of them are gonna fall too, right? It's a fallen society. I had one girl, she was a bit younger than me, but I've never experienced this. She kept looking at me. I've experienced that, of course, on semen retention. But she zoned out in my eyes. She zoned out, and she was looking through me, through my eyes for like 5 seconds straight. Because I looked at her, but I noticed she wasn't looking at me, but her eyes were where my eyes were, and she zoned out like she was dreaming, and it's like she fell asleep in the middle of the day. And I looked at her, and then eventually I looked away because, damn, imagine you just have this young girl just dreaming through you, or I don't know. And then because I was waiting for my friend, and then I met him, and then we were going together to get some chicken. And as I was walking there, she looked at me, and she smiled with such a genuine, beautiful smile. It warmed my heart because she wasn't the type of girl to dressed provocatively. She had some purity to her, some radiant shine, as I wrote earlier. It was really nice, actually. Um, in general, people smile more at me, and I am more inclined to smile back myself. It just comes naturally. Even when I go visit apartments and the woman is showing me the apartment, it's like once there is a moment of silence and we look at one another, we just smile. It's, I don't know. And I'm also more inclined to say hi. I literally feel this pull, like you gotta greet this person. And usually when I feel that pull, the person's gonna greet me. I just know who I'm gonna greet and who I'm not gonna greet. I know when I'm walking down the street at a Sunday morning at 8 or 9, I know which old people are gonna greet me. Because they're kind. I don't know. I already know who I'm gonna greet, and I feel the pull, and I look at them and we just greet. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but I feel it very strongly. Uh, I wrote older women go crazy. which is so true. I mean, I don't know how many older women who are like 30, 40 have given me the fuck me eyes and looked at me in seductive ways and smiled and looked away. Or it's insane. It's actually insane, but it is so disproportional to the young ones. I don't know if it is a perverted older woman who likes my regained purity, because my past isn't pure at all whatsoever. I used to really be about that life, the bad life, and I'm far away from what a virgin is, but I low key feel like I'm returning to that, even though that doesn't make sense. And I low key feel like I deserve a virgin woman. And again, this is not something perverted because I want to be the first guy to do it. No, it's just I feel like I deserve it, and I feel like I want it. I want a woman who's pure. This is not an ego thing. It genuinely isn't. But yeah, the older women, they, I don't know. I don't know if it's my looks or if it's just because they're more their time's running out, so they're more brave, or they have become a bit more masculine over the years, which is why they are more inclined to really show me they like me. I don't know. I'm not really into older women like that though. Well, it depends which side of me you ask, obviously, but I am not in lust to the extremes to the point where, let's go fuck this MILF. I don't know. I don't know. Lots of girls with their boyfriends looking, yeah, I don't know. They can't help it. Like, they'll be on the arm with their boyfriends and we'll look at each other, and if she's beautiful, I'm gonna look, and then we just look, and she even smiles or whatever, and it's like, women. No, I'm joking. Kinda. Not really. Um, I even had young girls look at me, 12, 13, 14. I had a girl, she was like 8, and she was giving me the fuck me eyes in the store about a week ago. I don't know, man. I'm not even gonna say anything to that. Yeah, but generally, women, I've received the fuck me eyes a few times. I can definitely pinpoint my finger on what they look like. Even yesterday, I was going to the lake alone, and I went swimming, and I was walking through the forest, and this girl, she looked at me, and I immediately felt like, you wanna have sex here in the forest somewhere. But she didn't say anything. She just looked at me. I just looked back because she was attractive, and I just said hi, and she said hi back and smiled a bit as she walked past. But I don't know. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. Just do it yourself. But it's not really about the female attraction, because for me, I want a wife. I want a good woman to have children with, to procreate. I don't want to waste my time with these women. To be honest, it's vain. It's empty. I've already done it. I know it's sin. Sin leads you in a compulsive cycle and doesn't actually get you anywhere. You're just gonna want to repeat it over and over. I actually say, if you use these powers, or if you abuse these powers to sleep with a woman, it's just a glorified relapse. Might as well watch porn. Honestly, honestly. So let me get to generally interactions with people, social life. Um, I'm more social, more inclined to just talk or start a conversation with people. Another thing I noticed is I don't mind getting in people's personal space. When I'm in a store, you guys probably know this. When you're in a store and somebody's looking at the section, you want to buy something. Maybe you already know, I want to get this, but he's there looking, so I'll just pretend to be over here. It's like, no, I'll just go there, excuse me, and take it. Or I'll just stand next to him and just look with him, right next to the person, and just, which cheese do I actually need? Let me not be weird about it. I just don't care anymore. And people notice, like, I don't know. It's weird because it's not a dominance thing or whatever. It's just, I just do it naturally. I just noticed it. Because usually I would go away, pretend like I don't want this, and when they leave, like, oh, now I can get it. Now it's like, why be weird? I'll stand next to you. It's okay. More respect from others. I don't know, just feel it. I just feel it. When you respect yourself, other people respect you. I don't know, it just happens. Much more people coming up to me in general, yes. I don't know why. Wherever I go, whatever I do, people come up to me asking for directions, asking for money. I had some Christian pastors coming up to me. I had some other people coming up to me, literally asking if I want to be their friend. What else? I don't know. Can I rap for you? And then they just ride the train with me, and then, like, it's just a bunch of bizarre things. People coming up to me all the fucking time, even if I'm not presenting myself. I'm just there in the corner, just doing my thing. They'll come up to me out of every person to ask me. I don't know. Even men or people from other countries who need directions. I don't think it has anything. It hasn't anything to do with sexual attraction or gender attraction. It's just my energy. I think I don't know. I can't explain it. More desire to just go out there and sit there and just be and observe people. I don't know why, but I started doing this. I think it's incredibly interesting to just sit in the city and to just look at people. I don't know. Or to just walk through the city. I've been doing that too, just walk without aim, just walk because I have energy and it's stimulating me more than watching YouTube in my bed because it's like, no, I want to be out there, you know? I just want to watch some people. I don't know, it's weird. Like I'm old, you know, staring out the window. I did feel like though, once I was seeking eye contact too much, that it lowered my energy. It drained me. I felt drained afterwards. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing I've noticed is, and yeah, we're halfway through the list, so this is, I'm gonna get to the good stuff though, but or the spiritual benefits, and yeah, because for some the good stuff is the female attraction, but for me it's really the spiritual benefits. But one thing I've noticed is when somebody comes talking to me, there's no shift in energy. uh, I don't change. I stay in the same state and I just talk to them like I've known them for 10 years and I just speak. And it's usually when somebody talks, it's like a shift in energy. It doesn't happen anymore. It's just the same. It's like my energy stays the same. And my energy is going to be the energy of the conversation. However, I am is how our conversation is going to be. I can't explain it, but there's no shift in energy. Imagine somebody just randomly coming to talk to you. There's a shift in energy. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, even, and I noticed even when I talked to the lady in the store, you know, typical lifetime crush. No, I'm joking. Um, it's weird, but I mean what I say. When I wish her a nice evening back or I smile, it's so genuine, and I genuinely mean what I say. It's not just some words you usually say when you're friendly. It's weird, and it's almost like they mean it too. And it's like, I don't know. I used to wish them a nice evening back for like years, but I never really meant it, and I never really felt like they meant it. But now I do. Uh, yeah, and obviously I smile genuinely, and they actually smile genuinely too. I have more confidence in looking and smiling at girls. It just happens when you stop the filthy outlets. You'll just start to do it more with natural women. You just start, engaging with them more. It's just normal. Oh yeah, this is interesting. I've had it a lot of times where there's a group of girls or a group of people walking by, and I'm not really paying attention, and I don't want to look at them, but I don't not want to look at them. I'm just chilling, and I look automatically exactly at the eyes of a girl who's looking at me. It's not like I was scanning the people, looking where's the pretty girl, there her eye, let me look there. It's like, no, I'm doing my thing. I don't even really notice them, and I look up, and she's exactly looking at me. And I've had this so many times. And I don't consciously make the decision to look. It just happens. Automatically. It's weird. It's bizarre. Um yeah, more need to socialize. I talked about that. People look and turn when I speak in a group. I don't know why. When I'm in a group, when I'm visiting an apartment and I say something, everybody turns around and looks at me. I don't know why. People seem intimidated and respect me more. I don't know why, but people seem intimidated. Almost like they're a bit fearful or whatever. One thing I've noticed, which is a bit annoying, when I'm about to cross the road, cars will just wait for me like all the way down the road, honestly. And I'll just walk there for like 20 seconds until I have passed the road, because they just wait so much earlier and then they're just standing there. I'm like, dude, I'm like still 5, 10 meters away from the cross. You don't even know I'm gonna cross. Why are you waiting? And I do cross. Every time I want to cross, they wait. Not every time, but it never happened that the car just randomly stood still and I didn't want to cross. But I didn't physically signal that I want to cross the road. It's just they were just waiting anyway. I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird. Uh, oh yes. I'll try to explain this look to you guys. If you're not an SR, you probably won't get it. But if you're an SR, you might get what I mean. Some men giving me that look of like fearful but watching, or like, what is he doing? Low key jealous. Feel like they will go home and watch some videos. It's almost like a gay look or a weak look, and a bit childlike and surprised, but not childlike as in innocent, childlike as in weak. I get this look from men all the time, and I can't. It's like a kinda, kinda. And I feel like it is a jealousy, a bit of a hate for me, a bit of fear, a bit of surprise, a bit of everything. But it's the same look I keep getting. And usually they're the type of men that I would say they're kind of weak. And just look at them, and you're biochemically very feminine. You're probably hardcore coomer. I don't know. Maybe you guys know this look. You got to be an SR to know this look. But maybe you'll get it. Okay, now I'm gonna get to this. I walk around and I look at men and I get angry because they just look so weak. You know, I see the way they talk to their girls or their women talk to them. I see the way their posture is. I see the way they just look feminine and weak. I can't help it. I can see the energy from a mile away. I can just tell, Miley, you're a fucking bitch. You know, you're weak. Women walk all over you and I feel bad for you and it makes me angry. It makes me angry how weak you are. I had this situation in the bus a few days ago, and there was this guy. He was like mid 40s with his wife and their daughter 15. She was wearing literally just a stripe above her tits, no bra. You could see her nipple. You could pretty much see everything. She was like 15, 14, and her mother was dressing like a whore too. And they were in the bus together, and her mother kept being loud and almost like teasing him, saying his name and joking with him, and they were both dressed like whores, and I could just look at him and I could just tell he doesn't have the pants on in this relationship or in the family or in the house or anywhere, and the woman is totally corrupting everything because he's just a weak man, and that's why your daughter's walking around like a whore. And I just looked at him and I almost got angry, like, why would you let your daughter walk around like that? Why would you let your wife walk all over you like that? And I didn't even know them, but I felt a genuine distaste and anger. Like, why are you so fucking weak, man? Hello, look how she's talking to you in public transport. Look how your daughter is dressing. Like, hello? I don't know. Made me angry. It genuinely made me angry. It filled me with anger. Which I don't know if that should be, but it just happened. Yeah, I can feel men's energy. I can feel their insecure. They can pretend to walk with pride. They can notice me looking and try to put on something, but I see right through it. Because I see the energy. I don't see the physical. I see the energy, and energy never lies. I can just see it. I can just see it. I can feel men's energy is insecure and they are not retaining. Uh, and thinking they are all not men anymore, only a shell of what God made them to be. Genuinely. Another thing I feel like is it feels like I'm in the 90s sometimes. Energy is just so stronger. I imagine this is what the 90s were like, or I don't know, back in the days where there wasn't as much sexual immorality and people had stronger energies, more inclination to just greet one another and to just start random conversations or to just smile genuinely without this big fear and background social media programming to it makes you almost dislike people because what social media does is they put you in groups, right? So you always see the differences when you initially look at a person, and it just creates for a hostile environment. Whereas if you were to actually talk with one another, you might get along. Not with me because I'm totally different to everybody in the society, but generally people. I mean, I'll get along, but I won't want to be friends with them. I don't know. Just energy feels like I've went back 30 years. I can't explain it. It just feels like it. I wasn't even alive back then, so I don't know. Oh yeah, dogs sniffing me and owners looking confused. Yes, because their animals usually don't go up to people like that, but they'll come to me and they'll literally pull and they'll have a fucking fight with their dog because the dog wants to sniff me very bad. And sometimes I just let my hand out and I say it's okay or whatever. I don't know. Oh yeah, I had this 2 days ago. It was very cool. I was walking and I didn't even notice this cat. I noticed her as she was like literally next to me. And I was like, oh, that's a good little kitty. So I just started petting her and I got more aggressive with her. I was like, you're a good kitty, and I started like squeezing her sausage body and like running up and down like aggressively. I was really feeling the love and I just wanted to give her some. And she enjoyed it. And then what's funny is this grandpa came along with his daughter and they were walking across from me. I was petting the cat here, and as they were like 5 meters close, the cat just ran away from them because she was scared. But she just let me like manhandle her like that, I don't know. It was I felt so privileged. I felt so good. I don't know. Um, Here's one thing though, sometimes I felt pride, uh, because it's hard when you're very confident. It is hard to not feel prideful. I always try to be humble. I always try to be my childlike self, which is what I really am. I am a humble child, nothing more. But it's hard sometimes. Pride comes up, and I have this feeling, because I'm just objectively writing down what I notice. I have this feeling of I want to dominate others. I want to dominate other men, especially women. Yeah, that's not difficult, but I want to dominate other men. I don't know. Pride comes up, and I sometimes catch myself walking a certain type of way or having a certain type of look, and it's like, let's not do this. This is not who you are, and I kind of cringe at it. I also noticed this after eating meat. I become more prideful in a sense. Just putting it out there. It's hard. You gotta make sure you don't tip into narcissism and pride. This is what happens to a lot of people on SR who aren't as far on the spiritual path but are practicing SR already. Pride takes them over. They can't help it. It feels too good. I know it feels good, but that's if you have wisdom, you know that this is the wrong way to behave. This isn't really you, and this will lead to your downfall. And yeah, I wrote stronger presence and I don't give a fuck mentality. Make sure I don't tip into narcissism or ego. You gotta make sure you don't. If you have wisdom. If not, then do it. See where it leads you to. So let's go. Spiritual benefits. I had a deep revelation because of something that happens to me. When I'm in public and I see an attractive girl, what I used to do was sit like my ego self, look like my ego self, and I don't know why it's so retarded. I'm embarrassed of it. But now my inner child comes out, and I realize that when I feel truly confident, not pride, not ego, but truly confident, I'm just the child that I am. I'm just confident in being the fact or being the child. I am a child. We're all children. Our bodies just get older, but we're all young, inexperienced souls or children or whatever. And true confidence is just being just that, just that. But nobody is. Nobody is. Everybody is pretending. Every single person you see in public is putting up a mask. They wouldn't walk the same way at home. They wouldn't talk the same way at home. They wouldn't. You know it yourself. If you know yourself, you know others. I felt like true confidence, and I wrote this down, true confidence as being the child who you really are, the child within, not the ego you've amassed, not the personality you've amassed, but the pure child that you still are. Like an onion, the center, not the layers you've accumulated over the years, but the center being that and just that. And also, scripture comes to mind, only those who are like children will enter into the kingdom of heaven. What is the rebirth that the Bible talks about? Something like that, being the child again that you once were. Let me be honest here. I really was into the whole sex life. I slept with over 25 women, but yet I feel like I'm returning to a state of a virgin and returning to a state of I'm incapable of having that much ego and pulling these women, and I don't want to. And it's just, I'm returning to purity. Can you imagine that? It's almost like I'm a delusional person and I'm returning to being a virgin. Energetically, that's how it feels like. And I energetically feel like I deserve a virgin. Even though I've slept with a lot of women. And you can say, well, if you're the guy to sleep around, you're gonna get a girl that sleeps around. But I genuinely feel like I deserve it. And I genuinely feel like I'm returning to what I used to be before that. It's like I'm undoing corruption. It's just generally what I feel like. I'm just being objective here. Another benefit, or more so understanding or superstitious wisdom or understanding, is whenever something bad happens, I immediately take responsibility. Oh, I lost my wallet. Why did I lose my wallet? What did I do that made me lose my wallet? Not where did I go so that I could put it away. No, what did I do to receive this karma? Because it's something negative. What did I do to lose this money? What did I do? What negative did I put out into the world to get some negative back somewhere else? In whatever situation, whichever, however, I always take full accountability for everything, and I try to find connections where there are none, but I usually find them. And there are more connections in this reality than we can physically tell, because it's all conspiring at all times, and it's all conscious and giving you what you need and showing you where to go. And I don't know how to explain it. Maybe you get me though. I wrote spiritual warfare. I'm being tempted. Honestly, I don't remember what it was exactly, but I don't know. Sometimes I get these crazy feelings or emotions, or I don't know, I'm definitely being tempted though. I don't remember what it was, but I definitely am. Is this too loud? Maybe that's better. Um, One more thing. I knew I was gonna actually succeed in SR. I knew before it happened. I was struggling for like 7, 8 months, and I knew I'm about to be done with this very soon. I just know, I just feel it. And I didn't do it. I couldn't. How can I, as a man, stop myself from doing it? I couldn't. I didn't do it. I didn't do it at all. I promise you guys. I was praying to Jesus for almost a year, and eventually something just flipped. And now I know I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm not gonna take out my phone and I just not gonna do that. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I couldn't. I didn't do it. It wasn't my own strength. I don't know. I felt like it was gonna happen and then it happened. But I didn't do any of it. I don't know. Just putting it out there. Um One more thing is I can sense bad people. I don't know if this is purely SR. This is partially SR. This is following God though. If you truly follow God, He's gonna give you discernment, and you're just gonna sense bad people. Can't explain it. You can say all the right things, have the right modest traditional appearance, but the energy never lies. I can just sense. I'll just get a thought. I'll just know. I'll just know. I'll know your essence. I know if you're of the enemy, even though you this masquerade as an angel of light. I know if you're, when it comes down to it, if you're gonna be with me on my path for Jesus till death, or if you're gonna be, a little government slave. No, I'm joking, but I can just tell. I can just sense bad people. I can't help it. It's just like that. And I used to be able to do that for quite some time. I would say 1.5 years strongly, but it's gotten even stronger, and it's just like sometimes it's overwhelming because I notice it, right? It's like, damn, why do I know you're kind of bad, or you're, because at the core they're not bad, but you know what I mean. Surely you know what I mean. If you follow God, you can tell. You can tell because you know yourself who is still in hell, in a sense. You know who's in chains. Dreams and sleep. That's a crazy one too. Uh, I sleep less. Obviously, I told you guys about waking up in the middle of the night. It hasn't really happened the last 1 to 2 weeks, so I think that's part of the rewiring progress. I hope I'm done with this now, but I sleep less. I only need like 7 hours. I used to sleep like 8, 9 hours. If I just combed or whatever, sometimes I would just sleep like 12 hours or whatever. But now I sleep only 7 hours. Um, Even if I only slept like 6 hours one day, the next day I still sleep like 7, 8 hours, and I feel good. I feel energized. I feel well rested. One thing is though, which is interesting, is I kept waking up at 9 over and over every day. 9. I was like, damn, that's my natural circadian rhythm, because it doesn't matter when I go to bed, I'll just wake up at 9. But now it's shifted even earlier. Now it is 8. And today I woke up at 7:45. And it just happens naturally, just normally, organically. I don't know why. I just wake up earlier and earlier at the same time over and over. More dreams, and vivid and weird dreams. I had at least 6 encounters with succubi. I mean, probably more. I'm a whole journey about 30 or whatever. But I've actually, the first time I've gotten to the point where I genuinely orgasm in my dream, and I can feel all the pleasure, I can feel the orgasm, I can see my load going out. And sometimes it is an abnormally large load. Like I'm talking like a whole bowl full of fucking semen. And I don't know what the meaning is behind that, but this is the first time I'm having genuine orgasms in my sleep. But it's not a wet dream, nothing's coming out. I don't know why, but they're crazy realistic. I remember everything, and I used to wake up right before I orgasm, and I still try sometimes in my sleep. I try to not do it because I subconsciously know it's bad for me, and I'm not trying to do that no more. But I just do it anyway, or I can't control it. I'm too weak in my dream state, and then I'll just have a full-on orgasm with the succubi in my dream, and then I'll wake up and I'll. At one point, I woke up and I was like, I'm glad I had that. Because now I had an orgasm, but it didn't have to relapse. But I still think it is of the enemy trying to plant seeds. I can't put my finger on it, but it is bizarre. I never had that in my life, to where I could genuinely orgasm and feel the pleasure, and feel the sensation of shooting and feeling the good feeling. But nothing happens IRL. Anyway, Let's skip that. Oh yeah, also my dreams are crazy. I remember everything. I remember all of my dreams. I remember dreams I had years ago. All of a sudden, the whole scenery, the whole places, everything comes back. Almost like these places actually exist, and I'm tuning into these places and remembering these places now. Dreams I had like years and years ago, all of a sudden come back, and it's bizarre. Uh, Next up is some energy things. You know this feeling of being nervous in your stomach, this energy question mark? It's almost gone when I meet new people. I now seek what I used to hide from. It's nervousness. You know, feeling of nervousness in your stomach when you're about to go into a situation you're a bit unsure of? Totally gone. I almost want this feeling. I want to do stuff that induces this feeling because normal things don't do it anymore. Although it is not a normal feeling, usually it happens when you leave your comfort zone, right? But when I left my comfort zone, it didn't happen anymore. So I got to leave my comfort zone even more. And one time I actually noticed my energy being insecure. I just walked around in the store and I could just feel, oh, I have an insecure energy right now. I can objectively tell I don't feel quite right. I feel a bit insecure. Don't know what that was about. Uh, Almost done. Some stuff I have noticed. My thoughts are much more interesting. When I'm in a train, I can just sit there and I lose myself in thought without even thinking about it while others are on their phones. And I sometimes look around like everybody's like sleeping on their phones and almost dead, almost dystopian, very dystopian. And I just look out the window and I think, oh, I'm not on my phones because I'm not a dopamine slave. And then I wake up a minute later, oh, I've just been totally immersed in my thoughts again. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's the same thing when you go to the toilet and you are young and you have no phone. You just read the labels and it's equally as stimulating because dopamine is not dependent on what activities you do. Dopamine is limited. It just depends what you use to, which activities you do to use up your dopamine because it is limited but renewable. Every day it renews, but it is limited. Can't take out more than there is unless you want to have a calm down. Uh, Easier to follow habits. Yes, obviously, when your dopamine levels they normalize, it is easier to follow habits. Effort becomes easier and more rewarding, feels better. So yeah, I go more walks. I write more because I'm writing a book. Make more music. My thoughts make me laugh. I don't forget my thoughts anymore either. When I'm thinking about something, I always remember what I was thinking about. I don't lose my train of thought anymore. It always comes back to me. I'm more interested in small animals outside, mushrooms, and I had these little geckos or lizards. I was so fascinated by them, and I even went down to look at them. Obviously, they run away once you get too close, and like mushrooms, I picked them up, I smelled. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I don't know. Also, I'm more interested in animals in general. I remember being at the train station, and there are pigeons a lot and I would feed them, and I kept putting the thingy lower and lower, and then I held my hand, and but he's too scared. He comes like this close to my hand, or even closer, like this close to my hand where the breadcrumb is, but he's still fierce. So I put one on the floor above him, and then he almost picks it out of my hand. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I don't know. Pigeons, they fascinate me, and even at one point I was sitting at the lake, yesterday or 2 days ago, in the morning in the sun, and I had this bird there, and I could feel like the bird was sexually attracted to me, or like there was a connection there. I don't know. There was a connection between the bird and me. I don't know. Man. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm weird. But yeah, people even looked at me weird when I was at the train station trying to feed the pigeons. But it just, I don't know. It made me so happy. I enjoyed it so much. Another thing I've noticed is I was once looking into my mirror and I was like, dude, my eyes are gigantic. I don't know, like I'm a doll or something. It's just whoa, why are my eyes so huge? Right now they don't look huge, but it was generally like my eyes were like gigantic. I don't know, like a optical illusion. Whoa, like scary. Um oh yeah, funny thing. When I'm cutting, when I'm on a calorie deficit, and I go on a walk in the morning, I want okay, do I listen to music now? I'm just gonna walk for 1.5 hours, but it's like no, I'm too busy. I need to strategize my life, future, day, years ahead and plan, considering the society I'm in, etc. I have no time for distraction. Yeah, I need to figure out a plan to still make money in this broken society. Figure out a plan to leave this country so I can have land and chickens and animals and provide for my wife and provide for my children. And it's like it's exponentially harder nowadays than it used to be. But I'll find a way. I will. Another thing I've noticed is I just cross the train tracks. I don't care. It's not an ego thing or a dominance thing. I don't even care. I never used to do that, but now I don't even care if there are a bunch of people. If the security guys aren't there, I just look, no train, no train, good. I'll just cross the tracks. And some people will give me weird looks or like shake their heads in disapproval. I make sure there's no children around, but why do you care? I mean, it's like, why not? I can look if there's a train. There's no train. Okay, so just cross. Whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm a chronicle jaywalker, but even on train tracks, apparently now. Just something I noticed. I just don't care. Whatever, man. I'm there faster. No train's gonna kill me. I have eyes. Like, why are you judging me? Intense thoughts and feelings, energy in my stomach. Yes, when I don't transmute well, I feel this block in my stomach, this intense feeling, and I know, okay, I gotta work out now, or I gotta do something now to get rid of this or transmute it. Okay, last part. My battery or memory is running out soon anyway. Physical benefits, deeper voice, feeling like I'm on TRT after eating meat. That's just what it felt like. I wrote this down. Strong morning woods every single morning. Another thing I wrote down, power cursing through me like I'm an animal. Listen, guys, I don't know. I feel these things. I feel like it. Hair on shoulders. Yes, my whole shoulder is full with hair now. I never used to have, well, you can't really see it here in the camera, but I have like so much hair on my shoulders now. I never used to have hair. I had like one or two, singular long hairs, but now there's much more on my shoulder because I'm a pretty hairy individual, and I can't really see on the camera, but I'm pretty fucking hairy. Now I have hair on my shoulders too. More energy in general. Um, I'm working out so much more, so much more. It's insane how much I work out. Twice a day sometimes, Mike Menser style. Pretty much no rest days. Uh, I feel like I have fast recovery. I feel like I have much better muscle gain. I might put a picture here in the video. I don't know. I don't know if you want to show my butt, maybe. But I have crazy muscle gain. Crazy. I generally feel a difference within 2 months. And I've been lifting for 1.5 years consistently now. And another thing I've noticed is food drains me when I'm not eating for fuel but for taste. I feel a drop in energy rather than an increase, because you should eat foods to have an increase in energy. Another thing is the effects from 30 days amplify not as much as from 0 to 30. I feel a bigger increase from 0 to 30 than I feel from 30 to 60. But there's still an increase. And the question is, how long will it increase for? Will it increase infinitely or whatever? And yeah, change is gradual and you stop noticing as much because it becomes the new norm. But you relapse and you're right back where you were and you're like, that's why I'm doing it. And yeah, that was it. That was pretty much it. Um, that's everything I've noticed up till 60 days. I'll make another video in 90 days because I'm certain, and I pray to Jesus, I'll make it in 90 days so I can show you guys and tell you guys the other things that happened. I can only suggest it. It's a total game changer, and it's gonna make you get to your purpose much, much faster because you're not as distracted and you're more focused. It's just gonna lead you to God faster, right? The highest possible good you could aim for. And that's what I want you guys to do. Whenever you can tell what the highest possible good is, aim for it and do it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and take care.